All right, so we are down here with Dave Friedman. What is going on,
Hello,
man?
how are you? Nice
I'm
to see
doing
you
great.
again.
It's good to see you again, man. It's been a little bit
Post-pandemic.
Post-pandemic. I
Yes.
interviewed you pre-pandemic
Pre-pandemic,
with Steve Stevens.
Probably 3 years ago or something. Something
Was
like
it that long ago?
Yeah.
God, I felt like it was yesterday because honestly, it was one of the last interviews that I did. I think that was the last in-person interview that I did since this one.
Yeah.
I have not interviewed anyone since then.
Yeah, we had Steve down at your store and Sammy Bowler. Yep.
Incredible guitar players. It was a really cool show, and we
Yeah.
got to interview you guys in the back of the Pipple Audio tech room.
Yep.
So that was a really good time. So let's talk about that post-COVID life for Friedman Guitars. What's that look like? Or Friedman Amps and Guitars.
We've gone through a lot of turmoil over the thing with parts availability and different things after post-COVID. That was interesting for a while. It seems to have gotten better now. So but it did put definitely dents in the industry a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd imagine a lot of people were suffering through that period of time, but it seems like you guys are rocking and rolling.
Well, fortunately, during that period of time, people were buying stuff left and right. Mm-hmm. So that we had a huge back order. But then you had to try to make it during that period of time, which is a big problem.
It's a pretty crazy catch-22 that everybody found themselves in. I mean, I didn't even see it coming when it happened. I was like, the last thing I thought was that, they're going to buy a bunch of stuff. I thought people were going to be scared to buy anything.
Yeah. But no, quite the opposite, I think.
So you got some stuff going on right now with guitars. What is happening with the Friedman guitar line right now?
Friedman guitar line sort of changed a little bit. So it originally was with Grover Jackson, and with Grover decided to kind of do a semi-retirement in Nashville. He still does some stuff, but he was kind of a semi-retired thing. He still makes our pickups with us and stuff, and a few parts and things that we use. But we kind of switched over to Billy Rowe, who has his own brand, Rock and Roll Relics. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you're familiar with that. And he's been just doing guitars for us. Now we're doing it on a slower basis than we used to do it on. So we're not doing that many guitars per year. It's kind of real limited, and we're doing some really neat, different colors and things that are really cool.
Cool. I think if anybody can hand me one of them, let's check some of these out.
Oh, there's one right behind you.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Neat. You're right. I think this one's one of Brian's favorites. He likes purple.
Yes. So
Good,
right? This is a crazy. And please, no one say, a real relic wouldn't look that way. This is more of an art piece than anything,
Yeah, clearly.
It's So this was I think a 3-tone with a purple, and then black. So it's like a triple bursted.
Yeah, it's really impressive the way they keep that metal with the flake in there. So it really does. It just has that super authentic.
It's super cool looking. I love how that guitar looks. That was
really,
a
really cool.
Cool one.
This one's awesome.
I mean, they're the same essential guitars that we have always been doing. It's just that Billy has doing little different flares and colors and things.
Now, is that the direction you guys are really trying to go with the majority of the guitar line that you guys have? Are they all going in that way, being relic, just keeping that vintage sort of?
No, we're going to be doing some clean guitars also, which we do have examples of floating around here. Yeah, okay. So we have several people that are working with us on things. Sure.
But that's the overall vibe you guys are trying to keep. You guys are trying to make sure that it stays with that sort of vintage type of a vibe, the relic, even if you have the modern ones, they still keep that Friedman.
People really like it. It sold well. We sold a lot of them, and people really dug the guitars. They dug how they felt. Mm-hmm. That worn-in feel, and they feel like that old. I get people emailing me all the time about that. So we kind of want to keep that.
Right.
We don't want to lose that.
Of course.
Yeah.
What about the amps? What's going on in the world of the?
Well, since last time we've talked, we have sort of behind me. Can't really see. We have we did a relaunch of a new version of the Pink Taco amp. Mm-hmm. So it's the Pink Taco V2, and we added a few switches that we had done before on some limited production amps for some other stores, which was a fat switch and a saturation switch. And we also voiced it a little more aggressive, a little brighter, because the original one was a little on the dark side, and people would occasionally complain about that. Mm-hmm. So we gave them something a little more aggressive, and had some really great videos done by Pete Thorne and Michael Nielsen.
Nice.
Out there. Really, that go watch that video. That'll really explain what the amp does. Both of theirs.
Cool, cool. Yeah, I just recently saw, I mean, it's off topic, but I saw an Ola Englund video. He just recently did the small JJ.
Oh, yeah.
That was like last week.
Yes.
So that was really cool to see.
Yeah. I mean, that amp was a great seller for years for us, the JJ Junior.
No, it sounds amazing, and the video definitely sounds amazing. Ola definitely knows what he's doing and how to push the sound out of.
Will it chug?
Yeah, exactly. No, it chugged. It chugged for sure. Kind of circling back to the guitars a little bit. I know you mentioned limited quantities. Like, how limited are we talking in terms of releasing on these with these Billy guitars?
It's just a little slower of a process. So how limited? I don't have that number for you.
Okay.
It might be half of what we used to do.
Oh, okay.
So you know. It might only be 200 to 300 guitars a year, something like that. I'm taking a guess on that.
Sure.
Yeah. And they're all a little different, so they all have their own personality. So each individual instrument. That's kind of the neat thing about the relicking. So, if you have or aging, shall we say, if you don't have an aged guitar and you just have a black guitar,
right?
Well, every one is exactly the same from everywhere. So, with the aging, everyone is kind of unique, and everyone will have a different little thing to it. And you can look around and see, oh, I want that. Oh, they have that one in stock. Okay, great.
Right, and you won't be able to get another one.
Yeah.
Each one of them, even if the body is the same, you're talking different, woods in the neck. You're talking a completely different one-off guitar with the relicking or aging, whatever you want to call it. But they all have their own identity, and they all speak a little differently when you see them, even if it happens to look somewhat similar. But I think that's really, really cool, because there's not a lot of that out there, right? There's a lot of mass-produced factory stuff, and if you buy one, you're going to run into the guy who's got the exact same one, but not with these guitars. It's really cool to have its own personality. I think that's
exactly.
Awesome.
Even myself, when the guitars come in and you look at them and you're like, oh, I want that one.
Exactly, yeah.
And then you go, wait a minute, no.
I got to sell it. I got to sell it. I'm supposed to sell it. Yeah, I don't need it anymore. Yeah, that too. That's the last thing you need, right? Is just another guitar that you're going to put into the arsenal.
Oh, I mean, another amp that we had done during this time too was also the Little Sister.
Okay.
So we originally had the Dirty Shirley Mini amp, and the Dirty Shirley Mini amp morphed to the Little Sister because we added the bright/tight switch that is on the Twin Sister bigger amp that we make, and we added that to what was the Dirty Shirley Mini. So we're like, well, let's call it the Little Sister. So it's the same thing that the Dirty Shirley Mini was, but it has an added switch.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but does the smaller JJ, does that have essentially an attenuator built into it, like some sort of a load box at all?
The JJ Double J Junior, yes, it has a load box in it.
Now, is that common for most of the amplifiers that are being released?
No, that is the Runt line, the Runt 20 and the Double J Junior. And that's it right at the moment.
Okay. Well, that's pretty cool.
More to come.
Yeah, well, more to come, but it's a really good start because obviously, I mean, I think a lot of things are going towards that way with amplifiers where if you're not in a place where you can just kind of blast through the walls and get the cops called on you, you have that load box built in. You can just go into a computer or whatever you're going to use to monitor without having to blow your eardrums and your neighbors out. So that's pretty cool.
And we might have some future products that we're not talking about right now that might very well address that.
Yeah, that's really, I mean, obviously, you get that beautiful, that Friedman tone, that warm tone, without having to crank the speakers, which is, I guess, the good fight when it comes to guitar, right?
Yeah, I mean, most of our amps, you can, even our 100-watt amps, you can play down really whisper quiet, and people really love that, and they generally really, they always talk about that. Hey, the master volume's so good. It's not really about the master volume, it's really about voicing the preamp, so it sounds good down low. Right. And then it will equally sound good up high.
Right. So excited for stuff in the future.
Yeah, lots of cool stuff.
I may or may not have seen the majority of it that I can't talk about right now, but it all seems really, really cool. Well, Dave, thanks for sitting down and giving us some of your time, man. It's always great to be here, go through the factory, see all the different guitars, being a kid in a candy store.
Yeah, you saw all sorts of fun stuff today, didn't you?
I played through all sorts of fun stuff. There's no better place to be if you really want to just be surrounded by what guitar really is. So thank you for taking the time and having us down here. Appreciate it. We'll catch you on the next one, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Be on the lookout. Obviously, after this video comes out, I think we're just getting this out before NAMM. So I think if you guys are watching this, we're probably there. You guys are probably seeing some really cool stuff, but we will catch you guys on the next video.